I kind of don't want to type because when I do it actually means that some of my shortcuts are activated and I switch scenes to something that either doesn't show my face, doesn't show the screen, or nothing. So, but I'm going to type now anyway, just to check that someone's in chat because it says there's none. But it also says I'm live, so I'm just checking. I'll wait a bit. That's true, yeah, I can talk to you. But I need to check that the stream's actually working first. Can you hear me then? Just say yes if you can. Ugh. I have no idea I mapped something to backspace, but I'll just start with the duels then. So the first duel that I have is D Wicked One versus D Janil. I know that both of these players are very good. Everyone in the tournament is quite good actually, but I've played them both a few times. I'm not going to say who I think is better, but so D Wicked One is playing an electric deck using Poipole in electric. Yes, I know how to hide my ID. I've got something mapped today. It's electric versus dragons. Electric is fairly standard. It's got a lot of synergy with Poipole, of course, because Poipole just lets it paralyze everything. So he probably wants to protect the Poipole as much as possible. I haven't played in a while, so I might not be quite as good as I have been, but playing 2 Dragon Sphere, of course, lets him keep Dragon Sphere on in case one dies. I'll probably start talking about the game now, rather than just talking about the decks and stuff like that. So I think that dragons definitely win this matchup because they both damage electric and they have a lot of mega, so they can just get rid of paralysis. Going for this kill might not be the best idea, but well, I'm not sure really. I need a little bit of time to actually start thinking properly again, as I've said. I should have probably done room matches before this, just. So yeah, he's obviously going to try and get rid of his Atelier here. This is definitely the correct play. Yep, he's aiming to surround his Atelier if he doesn't move back. And the final one is actually extremely good here because everything gets a final marker. He can now try and advance his Rayquaza over here, then over here after that's done. I think that after that, it's definitely very good. Yep. I'm not sure if scooping up was correct there because that just loses a lot of defensive pressure. He had a lot of control on the right side, but now he doesn't have much. Even after it failed, it basically is going to lead to Janelle managing to get both sides, which is huge. Yep. Now Janelle is in a pretty dominant position. He's threatening to move over here and possibly get rid of the Poipole. The fly is also very strong because it just lets him go to the entry. You should probably never give up an offensive position if you can help it. That's one of the things that I think is a big mistake that a lot of players, even at very high rank, make. This move is risky, but if it works, it is game, so I probably wouldn't do it because I prefer slow pressure, but it's a good move. Pretty much what he has to do. Gets the lucky spin, but well, it's not really a lucky spin, but it doesn't matter. Probably should advance the Rayquaza over here, threaten to take the entry again. Meteoric Teachings. He's just going to go straight for gold then, which is fine. Wicked One doesn't have a gold block. Particularly because Poipole isn't on the board, so you don't get weight from this. Gets the roll and Mega Ampharos can't kill Rayquaza because Rayquaza just deals more damage. I think that it might be sorry, I'm just saying ammo lot, aren't I? Let's see. And that's not a game because of the circuitry he brought back. He'll be forced to move his Tapu Koko over here, attack, and in the meantime, Juno can just start advancing, try and gain an even more dominant position. I don't know why he forfeited there. There was still a very good chance for the Koko to kill. So I'll just cross that game off then. This stream is really laggy. I'm really sorry about that. I don't have a very good computer at the moment. I don't have a particularly great setup. Hopefully that'll be improved by next week. So next we've got X Thunder versus X Sin, which is not me, but both of these players have actually tanked, so their ratings will seem a little bit weird. Both very good players. Thunder sometimes exploits glitches, but we don't talk about that. I respect Sin a lot though. He is a very strong player. So it's water versus a very standard Mighty deck. I actually sometimes play a deck that's a lot like Sin's deck here, to make it even more confusing, of course. I think that it's a 50-50 matchup, really. I don't think anyone wins or loses, and it's just very much based on who plays better. Something that I actually like what they're doing is that they're not going to gold here immediately, because I think that that's a waste of a play. You can... Yes, I know my game is lagging a lot. It's not something I can do much about, because I've already got the streaming settings on the lowest I can possibly have with an even somewhat watchable deck. With an even somewhat watchable quality. But yeah, I don't like people going to gold immediately, because you don't know when the attack's going to come. It can just lose a lot of momentum and give the opponent a chance to develop first. I'm not sure, but I think that he is risking the tractor here, isn't he? No, he's not, because there's only one. Actually, he is, because of the atmosphere, yeah. He can just swamp attack, go ahead and attack the Virizion, and then if he rolls tractor, that's game, because then it jumps back. I think that... I have no idea why he's not moving, but he really should. And... well, he's going for the double chance, but he gave a chance for Sin to defend against it. Luckily for him, he didn't notice. But I think that both players failed to defend against that, really. And that's the game. Very, very quick. Swampert does that. You have to really be careful when playing against Swampert, because you have to be aware of all the cheese that it has. It can go 3 MP all of a sudden, 3 MP, move through, so you have to be very careful. And then it has Tractor, which can move back one space, as you saw. Axosphere supported it really well there, but it's normally used with another Swampert, which achieves the exact same effect. Next we have Dekalal versus Destiny, or Suri. I've played both of these players, and I'll say this a lot, but I think they're very good. There are 2 games here, so I have no idea if they're different games or 2 parts of the same game and they just restarted after a turn-up loss. I'm going to watch the second one and see if they play very weirdly to try and get the same situation set up. Yeah, it's 25 minutes long and less, so that's why I'm just watching the second part. So it's Ultra Beast versus a Mighty Sphere deck. Of course, because of Shiny Rayquaza, the Mighty Sphere deck definitely has a good shot at winning this. It looks like it's just a different game entirely, so this is fine. Yep, clearly going for a rush type strategy. That's a good way to counter it, because he has to defend. Yep. I'm not sure about this play, because after the Risen advanced, Nihiligo is forced to go over here if he wants to defend against it properly, which just feels like a wasted turn to me. Yep, he's doing this before he moves over here because of the Celesteal, of course. He should probably be advancing here. He should probably be moving his Sableye over. It's best to gain some control on the side that you don't have any control on if you can. Yep. I think that Destiny might be going a bit too defensive over here. It's just generally something that you don't want to do. Of course you switch here because Zoroark can actually kill Mega Sableye. It's one of the very, very few things it actually can. It can do that because Mega Sableye doesn't give protection from effects of moves that knock him out, such as Aura Sphere or Cross Counter. Killer's probably just trying to get rid of the Mighty Sphere, which is definitely very big for Ultra Beasts. Yeah. I'd say he should probably just move back because now he has a good chance to just attack the Pheromosa with the Mega Sableye and hopefully go and get the Plate Maw in. He gets it, which is very big. I'm not sure. I think that moving over here and attacking the Poipole was actually a very good play. Would have been stronger. But he's going for the Mighty Spheres around, of course. I kind of wish that Rob was still in chat so I could just know if this was the second game or if it was the second part of the first game. Yep, he'll probably just go over here and try and attack the Pheromosa. Yep. This is a very, very, very strong position from Kalau. Destiny had to make quite a lot of rolls in a row to have a chance, really. My charging cable hasn't really just worked for a while, so hopefully it'll get better. But I'm not 100% sure why he did that, actually. It doesn't really feel like a particularly great move to me. It might have been better to put more pressure on by just moving to the entry. But then again, with this, it's very unlikely that something's going to happen. I don't know why he's going for the Rendezvous here, because of the Shiny Ray. He just moves over with his Virizion, presumably. And then that Nihilego is in trouble, it can't really get anything back on. Zoroark versus Virizion is a bad matchup for Zoro. You have to get a bit lucky to win it, which he does. But yeah, Claire's all over Destiny right now. It's winning this role could might have been better to use that in the Zoroark actually, but it doesn't really matter. Attacking the Celesteela with the Zoroark here might be a very interesting play, and hoping for the Flame Gun actually, to knock out Nihilego as well. After that he has to go back into gold, he can move the Virizion up, and I think he'll be very strong. Worst case scenario, if he lands Rendezvous, then that also works really well. I don't know if he didn't spot that or if he just didn't want to do it, but it didn't happen either way. Doesn't really have many winning rolls here, but Zoroark, as we all know, is an incredible gold attacker. Very, very reliable. Attacking there is completely safe, of course. Yep, he's just threatening to surround, which, of course, will be noticed immediately. I don't really like plays like that, because I think one of the worst things they can do is to just waste a move. I think it's the most common mistake high up. Personally, I'd be trying to attack the Celestino a bit here, but it doesn't really matter. It could be interesting to try for the ultra portation here and try to get a different thing. Try and get the Nihiligo back, and then just try to go from there. Might be good to try and advance your Virizion over here and then maybe even go for the Typhoon Slash. But that's a good play, it gets you much more than... Actually, is it a good play because of the Mega Lucario, of course? Does he not have the Mega? I'll just check. Lucario is very usable without its Mega, but still. Something interesting that, as I've said a few times, something interesting that I can look out for with Celesteela is you can make it flame gun one of his own mons, such as the Pheromosa here. If that happens, then the Virizion dies, Pheromosa dies, Lucario moves to entry, gets Zoroark back, and you're in a huge position of momentum. Yep, like that. Not, well, yeah, it's not really what you wanted there, but it doesn't really matter. A bit risky to risk the cool signal, to let him get a cool signal, but it's fine. Celesteela has very little chance against Shiny Ray, but it might be his best bet right now. Yep. I believe he still has long throw, so it's not too terrible, but... Might be interesting to go over here and attack the Zoroark. Maybe go for the Mighty Sphere Surround. Very lucky dodge, but... I'd say still go for it. The quality is really, really bad this week, of course. I haven't got it set up for streaming properly yet. It'll be better next week, but it doesn't matter yet. But it doesn't really matter. Yep. Rayquaza versus Lucario is a pretty safe matchup, really. You don't have to put your Zoroark out immediately. You can try and advance it down here, go for the Poipole, and then put out the Sableye when you need to. Of course, Lucario wins that eventually, but either way. It's not something you have to immediately cover. He can never get through this way because after he kills the Zoroark, the Sableye comes on, then the Virizion, then the Koko, then the Zoroark, etc. So we should probably just start looking for another way to get through. Yep. You should get Virizion over here, try and make an advance. Because of the long throw, I'd actually advance again. I'm going to try and get it charging now, so I'll just stop this game for a second and okay. Should be charging now, but we'll see. It might be worth trying to attack the Zoroark if he gets, because after that, he gets a good chance at just winning the game. Even if this fails, he gets the Virizion to Typhoon Slash, so... Unlucky roll, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, because after this, Killer can't really do much. Yeah, do you concede in this position? Can you actually kill this? Okay, so it's 2 different games, which is good. I'm not going to watch the first one, but ID is... I'll post the ID in chat if... Actually, I won't post the ID in chat because because it has a 2 in it, which will change the scene. Doesn't matter, I'll just do it. So next we have Devi versus Ulysses. I've played both of these people quite a few times. Ulysses might be the person with the most similar playstyle to me in the tournament, actually. He's good. Devi is a bit more of a defensive player. He plays a lot of decks. I'd be fine to watch your game if you can just post the ID in chat. Assuming I have enough time at the end, of course. So yeah, this is a very standard Mighty Sphere deck versus a very standard Water deck. As I said, this is a very neutral matchup. He's probably doing that to account for the Keldeo, which would have been able to move out immediately. I still think it's a waste of a long throw, because it might be better just to put your Vibrava on the corner, then move it in. Even if it does take one more turn. You really don't need to go to gold immediately. You can generally just advance in on after the Risen goes over here. Although in this case it might not have been a good idea. Yeah, because of the Finny, you can't actually put something over here to save the Kyogre immediately. Luckily that roll doesn't. Luckily the Typhoon Slash doesn't happen, so. Might have been better to put something over here and then try and advance it up over time. Yep, by doing it, he's... I'll see if I have the time. I've got quite a few games to get through, so... Let's see. There are 8 more games after this one. I'll try to get this one. I'll try to get it in after this. I probably won't have the time to, but... I'll try. He's obviously just going for some kind of status on the... That's really bad. He's obviously just trying to go for some sort of status on the Lucario, because after that it can be killed with gold, but the Aura Sphere that was the worst roll possible there. It means that he's forced to defend against so many different Fins because of the possible Keldeo advance, the Finny, Muddy Water. No idea why he's not just going to entry here. Attacking the Finny is incredibly risky because of the Pony Wish. And Vrizian doesn't have a particularly great chance of killing or hitting Typhoon Slash against it anyway. Yep. It's a very well defended entry, so it makes sense not to attack. I know that he has Mega, so I think he should have probably Megaed there and gone from there. Risking the Pony Wish again. He doesn't really have much of a choice though, so that's almost as bad. I think that he out-sea-leveled it anyway, so I don't think there was any reason to Mega there. You actually decrease your chance of winning that roll because you give access to Grass Knot versus Bullet Punch, which happens. Of course, this is still a really, really good situation for Ulysses here. it's definitely an uphill battle for the right to get out of this. He can go for the muddy water here if he wants to, or he can just defend the entry, which is less risky and better. I don't know why he's going to try. He seems to be trying to break here, but that doesn't make much sense. There's no way that he can. That's a very, very smart play. That's a guaranteed win. Because regardless of which way he moves now, something threatens goal. Whether it's the Feebas or the Keldeo or the Koga. I didn't see that at all. Next game would have been my one, but D-Rocket says we shouldn't do that one. I don't think that ID is still there. I have a recording of it, it's expired by now. But because we have a free time slot, I can probably just play this game now. I hate Rush. Now I get this deck, it makes a lot of sense. You just put as much pressure on as possible to switch with the Zoroark, you can't really attack. It's a very, very sound deck, it makes a lot of sense. I just don't like Rush decks that much, to be honest. The good thing that he can do is he can attack very freely because of the Bulu. Yep. He might have a lot of trouble getting through here because of the constant attacks from the DRS, but that's the other big benefit of this deck. You don't really have to defend much. Yeah, I know your ace. That's quite a lucky night gaze, but it doesn't really matter. Just keep on applying pressure and yep, getting Levantis out would have been a huge mistake there because it would just have let him apply a bit more pressure a few more times and just win by that. Attacking them might have been wrong. There's no way that he's going to attack with Levantis like that, and it just lets him get his Decidueye out into this position, hopefully move over and attack. If this deck has one weakness, it's Sword Figures. I'm assuming you have Hurdle Jump here, because why wouldn't you want Hurdle Jump in a deck like this? I really think you shouldn't Evo there. Getting the Evo just puts him at a lot more risk, because of Trico's ability. He can just come out a lot and counteract the pressure. A bit of a lucky roll, but it doesn't really matter. That's quite a smart play, actually. You're obviously just refreshing the Zoroark so that you can switch with the DOS and just continue applying pressure. Although I think that it might have been better to put your Zoroark out here, so that after he switches you can just take it, you can just go again. And that's the game after, is it the game? Yes, Pokemon Switch with between these two and its game. Yep, he's just tried to stall out. It's pretty pointless to play any longer. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting deck, I'd say that. Anyway, next we have Exec versus Kalik. I've played Zek a lot. Well, they're both good players. I've said that a lot, but they are. Kalik actually plays a Swampert deck, which is always fun to watch. Okay, see you then. I'll probably be streaming again at some point, but maybe even this week if I can sort out the lagging. If I can sort out the lag. So it's Water Mirror, but Kalik's running Swamperts. Swamperts, of course, provide a lot of utility. They provide a lot of cheese, they provide a lot of ways to advance. It's just a generally good figure. Zek probably didn't need to go to goal here, but it's almost a rush type strategy, so it's something you can do. Yep, just threatening the... Well, moving over here is probably better than the entry because of the way that the finis work. But moving over there threatens the goal and restricts the movement, and restricts movement. After that you can probably try and attack the Fini if you feel like it. Although that would be a very risky play because of the Pony Wish. No, he doesn't have that type of thing, so... I'm not sure why he's attacking there. He can't really do anything. Perhaps he's going for the tractor, but I don't see why he'd do that. Yep. Against Lawn Throw and Water, you do have to look out for points where it's better to take this point or the same point on the other side. Or this point rather than the entry. Taking the entry is pretty pointless against Water decks. That's a very lucky spin because after this you surround and you just have a lot of pressure. One of the good aspects of Water, of course, is that it can actually come back from these positions. It's it doesn't really... It can afford to go very defensive. In some ways, it's one of the easier decks to play in the meta right now, but you do have to know when you can advance and how you would advance, and he's not actually threatening what he thinks he's threatening, so... Though he is threatening that. Well, it does make a difference here because you can't just defend it infinitely. Yep, the Swampert here just lets him go over here, threaten the surround, and gets out of this surround. Once he gets this surround, he gets his other Swampert back, and he's back in the game, really. The only thing is, he can't... That plays bad, because after that, the thing he can just surround, assuming that it fails to kill. And there's quite a lot of outcomes where that fails to kill. He's not defending the goal really there, because if the Finny dies, then the Axsphere goes away. Once the Axsphere goes away, he's not defending his goal anymore. Probably shouldn't try and clear your entries here. Would be better just to take your own entry point, this entry point, or move over here. Well, you're 3 MP. Might be better to just move over here. Try and move up. So close. Probably going for the Origin Pulse here to try and get rid of as many Finis as possible. Of course, the blue Fini is very small, so it probably wouldn't, so it might not do much, but that's what he's going for. That plays purely to just stop him from trying to kill off the Finny. Maybe doing it the other way around might have been better, because Zek's just able to turtle now, and these Finnies can't really be attacked. Even this Koga can't be attacked safely. However, he should probably get off the entry. As I've said, there's very little reason to be on the entry in this matchup. Here, that was extremely lucky, because that Magikarp is great at making its opponents roll miss. He should probably keep his Magikarp, because it's just going to sweep the team if he stays dead Magikarp, isn't it? That's a very good play, because it stops the opponent from putting pressure on completely. Even if he kills this, the Koga comes then the Keldeo, then the other Keldeo, so he has to kill a lot in a row if he wants to just break through there. If he kept his Finny on gold, then it would have been a lot safer to attack. Also, it has this in mind, because now he can attack the Finnies fairly safely without the threat of Pony Wish removing his goalie. very little that he can do about this, really. Yep, and that is game, I think. Because the Swamphead only has 1 MP. Maybe he has a max of 5? Or he has a gold block. And I'm just stupid. Moving your Finny out here is based one now because, well, actually, this is just as good. But moving the Finny out there would be completely wrong because I'm thinking about it the completely wrong way. So please ignore everything I'm saying, just like normal. This should be game unless he lands the Pony Wish. Or the Hyper Beam could allow him to defend. Lucky roll. But it doesn't really help. Because now the Finny does go out here. Or here, it doesn't really matter. Because he can't block that, and of course when he moves something back to defend, he'll get 3 MP. Obviously going for the muddy water here. Regardless of how lucky that was, it doesn't mean anything. You can't really make anything out of that. It might be best to move the Kyogre into the centre, try and make an advance somehow, but even then it just gets blocked off constantly. By doing this, he should probably move over here. Just threaten advances. Attacking there is completely pointless. Even in the best case scenario that you get, that you freeze it, it just gets unfrozen immediately. Finny gets 3 MP and has the option to put pressure on here or here, and it's just really bad. In 2v2s and 3v3s and stuff like that, it's really important to be on the offensive. Because your opponent won't have time to actually attack if you constantly just apply pressure. Roughly the same thing is the whole reasoning behind rush decks, actually. I have no idea why he didn't activate that earlier. He had lots and lots of time. Yeah, if both spin blue, then that is game. Or, well, that's actually not too bad. If you can just waste a turn somehow, maybe use the Pokemon Switch or something. Yeah, the whole point of that play isn't to make a move, it's just to do nothing, really. You probably shouldn't go defensive there. If you just let your opponent attack in 2v2, so you'll lose. Even if it's safer, you'll lose eventually. Maybe he's trying to use the Swampert here and just trying to attack the Finny. Very lucky roll, doesn't matter though. I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. Maybe he's trying to get his Finny out over here, try and attack like that. I don't know why he's not just going straight for the Finny, which would be much stronger here. Especially as I think that Zek has a max revive remaining. I'd normally check it, but in the interest of not making this a 5-hour stream or something, I'm not. Although the only reason that he survives this is because of the max revive. Meetings are quite fun to watch, actually. We're probably just going to push it back, and then he might be trying to go for Swampert here. Yeah, that's what he's going for. He's going to move over, attack the Finny, which is a very risky play. But it doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, this could very, very easily turn out to be a 1v1. In fact, it could actually end with a 0v0 if the right stuff happens. You really shouldn't, as I've been saying, you really shouldn't go defensive in these positions. Just go defensive, let your opponent have as much momentum as they want. And you need to attack desperately in these situations. Yeah, because now Zek can just move over his Finny or his Keldeo and then just try and take this entry as well. Then use that to attack the Finny on the goal. So the best advice I can give for 2v2s and 3v3s is to play like you're 1.5k or something. It is going to end in a 1v1 or 2 or something like that, isn't it? Although you probably shouldn't take this Pony Wish. it's perfectly safe to put the Swampert over here because he has a Swampert out remaining. I don't see what he's going for by attacking though. Maybe the tractor was... but even the tractor can only really move over here without being surrounded. Yep, just trying to attack this side and he can't really defend that properly. Yep, he obviously couldn't go over to Swampert to go there because of the Axe Sphere, and that would just lead to him moving... sorry, Zek moving his Kyogre around, threatening to surround immediately. There's very little to commentate on it in this situation, so it's a little bit boring, but it's nearly over either way. I haven't watched this game before, I just know it's nearly over because there's only 150 turns in rematches. And we're down to 173, so... maybe he'll just win over here by using the... yeah, just YOLOing is definitely the correct idea. That should be the game. Yeah, because he can't actually kill this. The best he can go for is freezing it, and even that wouldn't work out because of the Kodio. Yep. So that was a very long game as well. Very, very nearly went to turns, and then there'd be another game that I'd have to watch. So you have D-Win versus D-Lelu here. Win plays a really weird deck, and Lelu's play... I don't know what Lelu plays anymore, but he used to be very good with fire. I think he was probably the best fire user out there. Much better than people like that flame idiot. This stream is probably going to be about an hour more. I'm about halfway through the games. Assuming that none of the games are very, very, very quick or very, very, very slow. It's a bit late to do that now. I'll send a link next time. Personally, I like to go with Arcanine and Gold when I play Fire. And put the Flame Sphere on that. It just feels a lot safer to me. Platinum and Gold is just putting the thing that you want to protect most in Gold, but Arcanine is so safe, it's worth it. Fire is one of the decks. I have watched this, yes, I saw it on Rocket's channel. Fire is one of the decks that can afford to go very defensive because it's relying on getting the burns. You see, when I watched this, there are a few things I actually wanted to commentate on. So it's a bit hard to remember this. To remember what I was going to say, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, going for this just gets him an opportunity to go ahead and attack the... sorry. Go ahead and attack the Hounding, which forces out the long throw. Personally, I wouldn't have attacked there because of the risk of the... well, I just think it's a bit too high risk. I'd have to go for a few seconds, so bear with. Okay, let's get on. Let's continue. Oh, there was actually something I wanted to say about the Pony Wish. I think the Pony Wish wasn't. The Pony Wish is very, very risky, of course, because it's an all or nothing type play. Using it on the hose. Using it on the hose is normally what you do. But here you're risking it all on the fly. Definitely right to go with the Arcanine, and the defensive move was one because it just stops him from probably advancing. You probably move your Frostus over here actually because there's a very low chance of killing the... Well, you have to hit fly, but most of the real losers. And after that you get the burn off, so you can just freely attack afterwards. Moving the Frostus over would have been stronger because it allows you to take a bit more time. And once this goes wrong, once the attack layer goes wrong, the opponent gets a lot more space. He really doesn't mind if he kills or dies, it's both are very good results for him. Even a neutral turn isn't bad because you can just advance, because there's very little threat that this Frostus poses to the Arcanine. Probably just attack the, yeah, and hope for the whirlwind. Yep, he's just going to try and kill this again. Yeah, take that. Here it might be interesting to try and get Houndoom over here. By doing that, the opponent can't really do much against it. But yeah, he's going to go for the roar. Moving the centre is definitely strong there because it prevents him from advancing properly. Trying to YOLO and attack, trying to YOLO the ray wouldn't work. I don't think that max surviving is right here. If the opponent is frozen, you can just leave it there. It's basically banished already. And you can move over here with the Rayquaza and just try to make advances from there. It puts you in a... well, it really just puts you in a... in this case, it would have been a 2v1... a 3v2. Actually 2v2, but then again he had 2 banishes already, so... I don't actually get the point of Wynn's deck too much. It's very mixed and I don't see what it's supposed to do, but if it works for him, it works for him. I've tried to find a way to make the game less laggy, but it doesn't. But I haven't found anything yet. Maybe I'll make it work a bit at some point. I believe he runs Wind Sphere. I'll check. Wind Sphere would just let him... He doesn't, okay. I thought he did in the last game, but versus whoever he played last. Not sure why he isn't running it now, because it would have been his only way to make an advance in this situation. Attacking the Houndoom is completely pointless, because after the Hurricane goes down, he just places the Arcanine in the corner, or the Houndoom if he wants, then the Arcanine, then the Houndoom, then so on and so forth. It just goes infinitely. There's no real way through this way. Yep. I don't see how he's going to advance here, really. You can probably just advance if you want to. With I was going to think with the hander, but this is definitely a very strong play from Wind here. He attacks this going for the Shuttle Flip rather than anything else, because otherwise he can't get back to defend. So he's just going to compress the goal a lot, which puts Lalo under a lot of pressure and gives him a very good chance of just winning the game. Yep, just attack, try and get the kill. Lalo's definitely has advantage right now, so his best shot was to get the kill there. It doesn't go off, unfortunately, but regardless of how tempting it is to just take entry here, it's definitely wrong. Because the Rayquaza can just kill its burn with the Mega and then just attack the Arcanine. Attacking this, even if there is some risk of the fly happening, no risk of the fly happening, is much stronger. Especially considering that you can just take the entry at any point. One of the differences between high-ranked and mid-ranked players, the big one I've seen, is that high-ranked players will take the entries only when necessary, and mid-ranked players will take the entries as soon as they can. So yeah, that should be game. So yeah, that was a very good game. I think that Lalo played that extraordinarily well. Wind also made some very good moves. Played quite a risky game, but anyway, next we have X-Gig versus AQ. I have no idea if Gig uploaded this or not. I haven't checked it out, but I think AQ is one of the better electric players out there if he still uses electric. It's kind of electric, it's a hybrid deck. And Gig's playing a fairly standard dragon deck. That's a fairly standard way to defend against rushes with dragons. It's very strong, and it just lets you move over here and gain as much control as you need. The only difference, I think, to how I play that deck, and how Gig plays it here, is that it's pointless without a long throw. I think Gig has a long throw, but it's pointless without it. And I would use Dragon Sphere immediately. Against rush type strategies, you don't want to waste a single turn, and Gig has definitely suffered from it, and that was an extraordinarily quick game, okay? You don't want to use the Frag Sphere out immediately unless you have a long throw, because it lets you set up a long throw very easily, but it doesn't do anything else. Really not much to analyse there, but next we have D Grey 59 vs H2O Queen. I don't know what they run. I think that H2O Queen runs water, or at least used to. And I think that the Grey 59 runs UB hybrid deck. Yep. I haven't actually played against either of these in League. I have seen a few of their games. I can't really remember their playstyles much. I think Grey might be fairly standard UBs.
good goal immediately against DBs is often a fairly good move because but you really shouldn't attack it like that. You gain nothing from taking the entry. You gain very little from attacking the thingy. Yeah. Although it might be best to, although it's probably better just to move your Haxorus back one space just to try and save yourself from the, just to stop the Feebas from getting on really. So against water decks you actually want to take this space and this space really. Those are the two hugely important ones. When you're when you're clearly on offense, you want to take this space and this space, which can stop the opponent from making a proper defense. Same applies with long throws. I don't like that. It lets him try and set up so many things, such as Rendezvous in the yeah, that's good enough. Flame Gun or Rendezvous would have both been great there, and I'd have kept either of those. Rendezvous is basically a banish. And it's a banish of the Primal Kyogre as well, which is the big thing. He might be trying to, if he's very smart, he might try to set up a surround with Rocket Ride in advance here. You'd have to look several steps in advance, and I don't know how you do that, but it's possible. Yep, this is strong because even if he kills, then the Hyper Beam happens, and he actually wanted the Storm more than anything else because of the threat it immediately puts on. After that, he can move his Pheromosa up here, attack something, and just continue putting pressure on. You want the Storm there though. Should probably advance down the other side because of the amount of pressure they have on either side. You respin that. The cool signal is probably worth more than the actual kill there, in my opinion. You're going to attack that? Yeah, attacking this is definitely a good move. Although it does have the risk of Manifest on. Might be better to move this over here and then put something on, and then hopefully work from there. But just apply more pressure, especially if he doesn't have a long throw. I mean, max revive. No reason for a long throw in this situation because of the Finnies. So yeah, HOA Queen does have 2 massive eyes actually, so just surround that. Try to make an advance down over here. Hopefully get rid of the Lucario. So if you go against a hybrid UB deck, there is something you have to look out for if you're playing Finny, which is that you can try and banish the Pheromosa instead of the Nihiligo or the Celesteela if they're not playing that many. If they're not playing more than one way to get something back from the Ultra Space. Or Nihiligo is the other way of doing it. By doing that, you can get a 2-for-1 banish very, very easily. Or with Nihiligo, even a 3-for-1 if you get a bit lucky. Yeah, there's no reason to attack there. Yeah, forcing him to go very defensive. Forcing Royal H2 Queen is a hurt, but doesn't matter. Yeah, forcing the defense. Might be going for the self-storm, but I'm not sure how much that will do in this situation. Yeah, that threatens both surrounds here and here. So there's very little reason to actually move back, I think. There's something I kind of want to check out with the stream very quickly. Doesn't really matter. For some reason the bar at the top sometimes goes orange, and I don't know what that means, if anything. Doesn't seem to have any effect on... shouldn't have any effect on the screen really, but... not much is up at the moment. I'm just doing some analysis for the tourney. You might try a actual stream of room matches or something tomorrow if I have the time. He definitely wanted to free spin in that situation. Going for the storm is much stronger because you can't really easily get back from the storm, but from this he just max survives. Yeah, the cool signal there is basically game, because you just put the Celestial back over here, get the Kylo out, Mighty Sphere surround, and then just work from there. So the pony wish here should probably go off on the Vermosa rather than the Celesteela, just because the Celesteela can get rid of itself. In this situation it might be a bit too late for that, but it doesn't matter. I think it's generally the stronger play. I have no idea if you can hear it, but there's a lot of shouting going on downstairs right now. So now would probably be a very good time to use the Lucario Knight if you have it. Just attack the Mana Fee.
and try to just win the game from this. Yeah, because if you kill the Manaphy, or even if you kill the Milotic actually instead, which... Actually killing the Milotic might even be better. You probably just go to the Manaphy though. Although there is a valid reason why you could get rid of the Milotic here. Yep. There's very little reason to play in from there. So there are only 3 more games to look at. So we're nearly at the end now. We have Killmoon versus Xmig. I haven't played against Xmig for a while, and I might have played against Killmoon ages ago. The only reason I actually remember that I have played against him is because he made a post because there was a thing on Facebook that I saw. And I remember that. If I remember correctly, Xmig plays fairly aggressively. But I don't know how Killmoon plays. So yeah, fairly standard Dragons versus an electric deck. Dragons should have the advantage in this matchup. I don't think anyone here has watched from the start, so I can so I'll just repeat the big reason, which isn't actually damage, but it's the fact that Dragons can very easily clear their status because of the amount of megas they run. Particularly with Mega Ray, they can just very easily and very safely attack circuitries. For damage, Electric really has ways around it, but they don't really have a way around not being able to get statuses, which is why Grass also counters Electric so well. We're down to 4 FPS, so that's going to need to be sorted out at some point. Yeah, I'll definitely try to make less stream less laggy. The settings are already pretty low with a fairly low bit rate and stuff like that. I'd change it now to make it even lower if I could to hopefully save the FPS just a little bit, but I can't. Against Rayquaza and Mega Rayquaza, the general tactic you want to use is to just leave your Lucario in goal and just play like it wasn't there. And just try to stall it out a little bit, really. The matchup between Mega Ray and Lucario in itself is actually pretty mixed. It could go either way, but the whole point is that it stalls it. Yeah. The very good thing about paralysing Lucario though is that you can now get rid of it with the Coco very easily, assuming that it rolls well. I think that Dragon decks should probably run some sort of offensive status like Sableye in their decks, because not only is Sableye very strong against other Dragon decks because of plate ignoring, but it also lets them have a way around Lucario.
You can advance 3 spaces there if you want. There's no way that he surrounds him. This could actually go wrong with the ultraportation, because after ultraportation over here, you can get something back on and then, or just that. Yeah, that's better. So now you've threatened the Mega Amphoros cheese, which just lets you... Well, he either doesn't spot it or doesn't want to risk it. But the Mega Amphoros cheese is that you can move in over here, and on the last turn of Mega Amphoros and just kill something, then put the figure on goal. The way to defend against this is by making a goal surround, or just playing more aggressively defensively by just blocking the Amphoros advance in the first place. It's still a very threatening thing to have. Yeah, Nick might have been being a bit too aggressive over here, because after... Not sure why he's Mega-ing, because it's going to be very hard for you to actually kill off your own Altaria, which is what you need to do. It would have probably been better to just advance over here, attack the Coco, and if you get the kill, you can just work from there. You should really spot what he's doing. You should just move your people out. Yep, that's a very good kill. He can't really do anything to get back from this properly. The best thing that he can do is probably to scoop up his own point hole and then threaten to go over here, but even that's not hard to beat. Yep, just go for the gold surround. I'm getting new stuff for streaming on, well, not for streaming, but it's going to be better for streaming on Wednesday, so... Yep. Of course, there is a way back into the game from this, which is the Zap Cannon versus Miss, and half of that went through. But that's the game. Just 2 more to go. Firstly, we have D-Blitz 99 versus D-Rex. I can't remember what D-Rex plays, and I don't know what D-Blitz does. I haven't seen either of these guys before. So it's water versus grass. The Poliwrath is the only real way to beat this. But if he gets the Poliwrath to confuse some stuff, it's huge. The Swampets are always the biggest threat when you see them. They can be fairly hard to defend against, and it's just generally one idea to... And how to look out for them for most of the time, really. The biggest threat they have, of course, is the tractor. I'm a bit split on that. grass tends to run long throw, so I imagine that we could see this happening now. Presumably with anything really. And what you get out of it is that he just gets to advance. There is very little reason to move your Levantis over there because you're not under threat anyway. None of his figures can kill any of your figures really. The biggest thing you might be risking is Muddy Water, but even then you put a Booler on. Yep, he's obviously going to go for the Storm after this because that's how you win this. Because that's how he survives. Well, he's going to hope for the Storm anyway. In the meantime, you should probably defend with your Poliwrath on the other side, and then use the Swampert to get over after it fails. That would at the very least buy you some time. Did he use Double Chance? Double Chance is pretty pointless in that scenario. His roll doesn't matter unless he rolls in this. Yep, and then he just surrounds. Very easily. Pony Wish would win the game here, yeah. He wins the game two ways. There's a fancy move to make Swampert that he might just do for style points. Yeah. You really don't want to go too defensive against any deck, really. It's just lets your opponent advance as much as possible. It's better to try and stop the advances in the first place rather than account for what happens when the advances happen. Because if you do that, then your opponent doesn't get a threatened goal. So, in my opinion, you should... Well, I have a theory called zoning, which is basically that you have 4 areas of the board, and the whole aim is to stop your opponent from advancing, not just from stopping them to get to the back row. It's more important to stop your opponent from advancing than it is to do anything else. And you should just play responsibly as possible. Try and exploit every weakness, and it's pretty basic actually, but not enough people do it really. They let people advance a bit too much. This is the last game. It's D Matador. I call him D Matador because that's easier to remember, versus D Eoxys or Deoxys because that's easy to remember as well. I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce either of these people's names, but so this is the last game. So, in this matchup, Matador should probably win. This is... The only reason why I do this play is if you're trying to trick your opponent into thinking that the cheese isn't happening. It's really, really stupid, but it seems to work for some reason. I kind of don't want the last game to end like that. But it probably will, won't it? Because the single core signal here is game. Big one on the screen for whatever reason. I have no idea why that happens when something moves from multi-space to gold. It happens with Poipole too. So that's the last game. I might try to set up a... If anyone's in chat and wants to do a rematch or something, just say. Otherwise, I'll end the stream here. I mean, it does say there's only one person watching, so probably not then. So I think that's going to be the whole. So I think that's going to be the end. Thanks for watching, however much you did. Okay.